Hey, how you doing out there? Hi. Um, I'm sitting at my drawing table working on a stencil for the February trip. Oh, hi, Soph. I'm in Christmas, Florida, working on some stencils for the February Brian Johnson tattoo pop-ups that I call it now. Um, and I'm going to answer another DM question. Um, uh, this is back to this topic that I touch on time and time again. Um, oh, wait, hang on. Like, subscribe, comment, troll, share, say something rude. Hi, my 35 subscribers. Get that out of the way. Okay. So, anyways, I am working on a stencil here. Okay. And got my trusty pencil. And what I'm doing is I put the stencil paper down like that. And then I trace it. Usually I use a pencil or pen, but I trace over the image that the customer selected onto the paper. I don't have the stencil machine like I did at shops before. I don't have the smaller stencil machine. I used to have the classic. It's called the Secretary, a 3M machine, and I got robbed in one of my tattoo shops. But anyways, I don't use any stencil machines. So everything's by hand with a pencil. Yep. So, or sometimes I use a micron, or just, a lot of times what I use. People used to say, I used to make needles like a caveman. I'm the same way with my stencils. I use the pen at the hotel. I grab a pen at someone's house if I don't feel like digging through my bag. But anyways, I'm going to answer a DM question.
You would eat noodle? You would do what, like a caveman?
Make needles. Oh, hi, Soph. Say hi. Say hi, Soph. Hey, don't flip me off.
I didn't flip you off.
Oh, you said hi? Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to answer some DM questions. I'm going to answer a DM question. All right, look. So I'm sitting here drawing, and it's sad every time I'm on Threads or Twitter or I drive around or I'm on the road or I'm talking to a colleague or somebody I used to tattoo with or bugs or I see a message or I don't know. This shop closed. I'm retiring. I quit. I'm going to go do drywall. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do driveways. I'm going to, paint houses, good tattooers. Okay. I had a question. Someone said, all right, the gist of it was they don't really know me. They follow me. And how do I do the many tattoos that I do on the road and I don't tattoo in Florida? Am I exaggerating? Am I full of BS? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to tell you how I do it. Okay. It's very simple. I've been doing the same thing. I don't like change. I have OCD. I don't like change. I'm bipolar. I have different issues. I don't like change. And I learned to draw on I'm going to go back. I'm going to take you back. Okay. This is why I have tattoo clients. I'm going to be very honest with you. I learned to draw on the placemats at Gap Diner. My grandparents used to take me there. My grandfather was a country doctor. I'd go there with him, my grandma, Grammy and Pop, my sister Stephanie, who also became an artist. I learned to draw on placemats. Okay, spaceships, stick men, little building forts, whatever. Write my name. Always good at cursive. Not great in art in school, but I was always drawing from the moment I could sit at a table, hold my head up, and hold a pencil, okay, and have some paper. All right. Now, when I started tattooing at the shop, I apprenticed. Of course, they had the 3M stencil machines. All right. But when I really learned to tattoo at my mom's house in the basement in my bedroom, calling Ernie Croft on the phone to make needles and bringing clients there and really taking the time and learning the craft and whatever. Basically, I apprenticed with Brooks, and then I did some home stuff, and then Ernie Croft and Damien, the lawyer tattooer, Damian Guerin filled in the blanks. All right, so I basically had 2 apprenticeships. One with John Brooks, and then with Carafa and Ernie Carafa and Damian schooling me and filling in the blanks. That's what happened. All right. And then the college, I apprenticed, and then my college years, I would say, was with Crow. All right. So there you go. But the reason I still tattoo and I'm not retired at 56 and I love it is because, and I still get clients in this crappy economy is, okay, it's very simple. It's paper and pencil. I know. I post these other videos and I touch on this, and that's what this guy was asking me. He's like, are you full of it? No. It's sitting down. I get the idea from the customer. Okay. All right. I print out stuff that they send me, or I just look at my phone, which I hate doing that because you can never get your phone to freeze. All right, so I get the idea from the customer. I either draw it freehand on paper, which I love to do, or they send me stuff like this cover-up project. They'll send me stuff like that, and then I have to make rough sketches and tracings, blah blah blah. Okay, so for a non-cover-up, it's just I get reference, and then I say, okay, do you want me to put my take on it? Do you want it exactly like it is? I give people what they want. And then some guy will say, yeah, I want it just like that, but shade it your way, or blah, 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 or do this, or make it more gory. Like I'm doing a girl's, she's spiked through her eyeball. I can't even show it because it's gory and it's got boobs, but I just can't show it on here. They'll kick me off. But anyways, he's basically like, make it more gory, put your stamp on it, and shade it the way you do, like mother. So matches mother's sleeve, which I did the guy's other sleeve. All right. So just like I did at my mom's house in New Holland, okay, just like I go up the street and I skateboard. I'm skateboarding like I did when I was 19. I mean, I'm 56. I'm not doing that fast, but I do the same stuff. I collect toys. I think what I surround myself with and what I do when I'm not tattooing, I know it's going to sound weird, but that helps me get my clients, because I want clients that are into skateboarding and skateboard imagery and horror movies and collecting toys and, like this gory sleeve I'm doing. I'm into that kind of stuff. So I try to surround myself and post stuff. So, and other this is something new. Other tattooers do that. I probably put more personal stuff on my TikTok threads and Twitter and Instagram and all that than other people. I don't just show my work. I have an Instagram just for tattoos, but it doesn't get as much traction as my other social media. But anyways, I show people what I'm into. Okay, so if they want a Gigi Allen tattoo, they know I'm into Gigi Allen, so we're a good fit. Okay, I'm going to be into that, or horror movies or whatever, or a girl getting spiked. Okay, but what the guy wanted to know was, how do I just fly up or drive up? I might be driving up now because of this whole snow situation. I don't know. Weather's looking bad for my flight out, so I might have to drive up. But anyways, that's a separate story. All right. I'm doing the same thing that I did at my mom's house. Okay. I'm making the stencils by hand. I'm drawing stuff. And with the phone and messaging and social media, I'm back and forth. With the customer, I'm showing them they've already given me a deposit. So they're not going to, okay, that's another thing. Get a deposit, okay? I'm showing them, not complete finished artwork, but I'm showing them different stages. So them going somewhere else, that's not going to happen. So basically, this question was, how are you showing up to PA, blah, blah, blah. There's another tattooer, and having all these tattoos lined up. All right, because I'm sorry about that light. Excuse me. The 2 months in between when I'm running around with my wife and Sophia, okay, and she's got karate school, my wife's got doctor's appointments, or I have doctor's appointments, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what people don't see, all right, and Dave Tedder touched on this. He made a comment, or he made a post or video or something. I saw something about him saying what people don't see, us, the tattooers that are still hammering them out, is we're on our phones constantly talking to these people. I don't have a buffer between, there's no like counter guy here. Okay. When I message you and say, I'm almost done your cover up, that's me. That's not somebody, nothing against counter people. I'm just saying that's not some guy like when you talk to the doctors or you talk to somebody at eBay or you're talking to somebody in Sudan. You know what I mean? Like when you talk to me about your tattoo from the first time you comment, okay, here's another thing. If you comment on a tattoo that I did and say, hey, I like that tattoo, or I like this tattoo I saw, blah, 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 in Pennsylvania, and he gave me your number, and they comment on Facebook or Threads or Instagram, and they go, hey, I like to get up with you when you come up here next. That's how it usually starts. When do you come up here next? February. All right. I like to get something. Okay. Send me a DM. All right. You notice how so many tattooers on their profile, it says no DMs? Okay. They have an assistant. They want you to email them. They have a whole other system. I don't know how that system works. Don't want to know. But right there is a red flag. No DMs. Okay. Now, maybe their DMs are for personal or dating, but you have like all these tattoos. I don't understand the no DM things, and I definitely don't understand the books closed. Christ, I've seen people putting that in, and then the next thing you know, they're retiring or their shop's closing. Well, if you don't take DMs and your books are closed, how are you going to get? I don't even know. I don't even know how these people get customers. But anyways, how I get customers is I say DM me, send me a DM. This is usually on a feed on Facebook or something. All right. Then we're going back and forth. All right. It takes but a couple messages to know if they're full of BS or not. Then I say, okay, how about this day, blah, blah, blah. I can tattoo you, blah, 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 blah. Send me some reference. And then there's a deposit involved. Okay. Then I start getting the paper out. Or I print out some stuff, which is getting harder actually, because I like to print stuff on 11 by 17 paper. And my Office Max just closed. I went there the other day to get something printed, and the Office Max is closed. 50% off, which is great, but 50% off, but they're closed. Soph's in the room. Soph's photobombing me in my video. But anyway, she went to go to Jersey Mike's. But anyways, now I got to go to Staples. So anyways, I print some stuff out. And then I make stencils from that, or tracings and redraws, or I got to flip it, or all that stuff by hand. Okay. Pencil, paper. I buy the hand stencil from, are you Sonia? No. Oh, I buy the Spirit paper that's for hand stenciling. Okay. They come out better. I like to make the stencil on the paper, especially from like an Office Max or Staples. I like their paper. Okay, and I got to put cuts in it so it forms the arm, or I like a thicker tracing paper that works good. I sometimes use a thinner tracing paper, but sometimes that'll rip. So I like the paper that I get usually when I print your tattoo out, like at an Office Max or something. Okay, like when I print out some big lion head or flowers for a girl's hip. Oh, I just love that paper. That big 11 by 17. It's perfect for the hip size. Great for sleeves. I love that. All right. And I usually when I'm there, I'll print out a couple different sizes. Sorry about the light in the background. Kenny Lehman, he insists I do a podcast, and I gotta put a background. See, then I'd have to pick like a shelf or something, or I'd have to pick an area, and then I'd have to stick to that, and I don't know if I want to do that. But anyways, okay, so I make stencils this is the point of this video. I make stencils at 56 years of age, been tattooing for 36 years. Pencil, paper, stencil paper, or tracing paper, okay? I buy it like this. Stencil paper, okay? And I buy, hang on. I even have a light box right there. I buy two different kinds of tracing paper. One's thinner than the other. Then I have a roll of tracing paper. Where do I put it? Oh, it's right here. I have a roll of tracing paper that's even thinner, but that's, you can pull a big whole sheet of it out. Okay. I'm going to keep this around 15. We're a little over 15. But anyways, pencil, paper, stencil paper, tracing paper, tracing roll, draw, trace, go back and forth with the customer, get deposits. And then, yes, boom, when I get to PA, I got a pile of drawings, pile of tracings, pile of stencils. I tuck them in my bag. They're in a little Ziploc thingy. They're ready to go. Customer comes in, boom, bam, boom. Put that on. They don't got to wait. Bam, start banging them out. Okay. That's what you do. Okay. And then, that person you're communicating with, sorry, I'm going a little over here, but with the time, usually I keep these at 10 to 15, but the person you're communicating with and they're getting the results of their deposit, because they know they're getting their drawing done. They know when they see me in PA that I'm going to have their stuff ready. Guess what? They're telling other people, hey, my guy's doing my drawing. And then their friends going, hey, my guy's not doing the drawing. Look, pick up a pencil, put it to paper. You'll have customers. I have a lot of customers. I'm blessed. Thank you. And here's another video. Tell your friends. DM me. I'll tattoo you. Peace out. Bye.